Today I'm going to share with you a trick that you can use right now to test the law of attraction and see how it works for you. Now, this is a fun trick for anyone who's already practiced the law of attraction consciously before, and it's also a really fun trick for people who are new to the law of attraction, especially if you know someone like a friend or a family member. Maybe they're interested in the law of attraction, but they don't quite buy into it. This is a great trick that you could share with them so that they can see it working for themselves. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice a short visualization, and we're going to try to manifest something very random with the law of attraction. And I have two options for you. One is a rubber duck, and the other is a drum. And I've picked these two objects because they're fairly random. They're not things that most of us see all the time, but they're also things that most of us know what they are. Okay, so pick whichever one you feel like manifesting yourself. So pick either a rubber duck or a drum. And in a moment, what we're gonna do is we're gonna close our eyes. I'm gonna walk you through a series of questions as a form of a visualization. Now, one thing to note before we get started is that everybody visualizes differently. Some people visualize in pictures. So I might ask you a question and you may actually see that answer to that question. Other people, when they visualize, it's more like they get ideas or words or thoughts, or it's a little bit more abstract than that. And that's okay. It doesn't really matter how you visualize. Just be mindful of the questions that I'm asking you and visualize them to the best of your abilities. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and close our eyes. And we're going to have that object in your mind, either the rubber duck or the drum, whichever one you picked. Now, to begin this visualization, the first thing I want you to do is just to imagine how this object looks. Visualize in your own way how this object looks in your mind's eye. Very good. Now, the next thing I'd like you to visualize is I'd like you to imagine that you're actually holding this object. So I want you to imagine, how does it feel? If you were to touch this object with your hands, what would it feel like? Very good. Now, with your eyes still closed, the next thing I'd like you to imagine is I'd like you to imagine what kind of sound this object makes. So if this object were making noise, what kind of noise would it be making? Very good. Now, with your eyes still closed, I'd like you to imagine that you're talking to somebody who's never seen this object before. I'd like you to imagine, how would you explain what this object is to someone who'd never seen it before in his or her life? Very good. Now it's time for you to go ahead and open your eyes. And now what you have to do is just wait for that object to come to you. So over the next 24 to 48 hours, be on the lookout. You're probably going to see that this object shows up in your life. Somebody may physically give it to you. You may run across it when you're going through some stuff in your house. You may hear about it on the radio or on television, or maybe some people are talking about it. But be mindful of that. If it comes up for you within the next 24 to 48 hours, you can rest assured that the reason why that was attracted to you was because of the work that you did over this last couple of minutes in this visualization. So again, this is a really fun trick to practice your manifesting skills. It's also a fun trick to share with family and friends so that they can get firsthand experience of what the law of attraction is like. So feel free to share it. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.